Suspenseful, right?
Shinigami.
Shinigami's a fairly basic track. We started off with just some stuff here. Just went out and recorded some stuff. We have a creek down the road, and I just went there early in the morning, right at sunrise, and you could hear the birds, and you could hear everything going on, and it was just really serene. So this is what it sounds like. Just kind of and I swept it up just like this. Just swept it up. And so you like taken into the track just very calmly. And then and all that is right there with the hits here. That's just go to the garage, take a bat, take a stick, and hit that thing, and pitch it down, and then it sounds like this. Okay, so this is where I got the high. Okay. So there's two layers here. There is a lower layer here. The lower layer goes. So dun 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 dun, and I know that layered off of this double bass string instrument here, which sounds like this. Just very, very just suspenseful, you know, what's gonna happen. So the lower note plays off of that on this synthesizer here. Play those two together like this. Then you get that. So now, but that's really, you can distinguish it, but it's not very distinguishable, you know. So I had to have a top line over that, a top line melody. So basically this is our foundation. Those two things are our foundation. So now on top of that, we're gonna go ahead and stick something like this. And that's just, you know, a contact plug-in here. It's a contact plug-in. I played it on the guitar. So I played it on the guitar first, right? And when I got the idea on the guitar, because it's just everything is, you can get something really authentic a lot of the times until you get really, really proficient at it. I played it and I got the organic feel, and I said, all right, this is how I wanted to sound, and this is the swing, and you know, so we came out with this, and this is the sound, just playing a note. So it goes something like that. And I just want to build that suspense, you know. Your build-up has to have a character, has to have its identity. Like, you know, when this comes in, you're gonna have that high hit on that violin, just that high sustain. So it's this is that high sustain, and then we've got with some brass here, just really low. And I EQ'd the brass here. The brass is EQ'd around 141 hertz. Nothing else to it. It's got enough highs. And then we layered that with another one here. So this plays the highs, and this plays the really timbery lows. So both of those together just go. Now, but what rounds that out is our low end. So we've got our high part, our low part. Again, we're looking at everything as a sandwich, but a three-dimensional sandwich, because as we'll talk about later, you've got your sandwich when you're stacking things in the track and how you hear everything, but you also have your stuff from the side. So if you have to think about things in a spherical manner, because placement of each and every element of your track can really change the dynamic. Simple respace. So that's, you know, that respace really rounds it out. Just hits, you know, like after that you're ready. I've been built, and now I'm ready for this to drop. I'm ready for this to hit, you know, like The buildup is everything. Okay, now on here on our cadence, if we take a look at this, you can see how I gave the track some swing. I gave the track some swing by slightly taking this remedy hi-hat and nudging it over ever so slightly, so when the snares hit on that third, it kind of like splashes. See, look, it all splashes, and so the snare is gonna hit on beat, you know, and the hi-hat hits slightly off, and it just kind of pa-pa. You know what I'm saying? It's really nice. So let's put our 808 in here. And it's got so much detail on the sides of the 808. But what I did to get this popping more, first of all, it's down, as you can see, 8 dB. I gave it a boost in its actual key frequency range here, so when it hits, it's gonna hit, you know what I'm saying? A little more, because it's kind of flat as it is. Didn't do anything on the compressor. Gave it a little bit of sausage fattener, and then a saturator with a medium curve. Hard curve is like, look how aggressive this gets. It like, that aggressiveness took away that from the sides, look. Now, without the hard, medium curve. You see that? It shines a little better, so now it sits a little better. So what I do is I'll take it in threes. You can stay within your key range by, you know, differentiating things between your root note, which is what we're going to call 0. Then you can go 3, you can go 5, you can go 7. And all these things are, if you go between those 3 notes, if you go 7, 5, 3, it's going to sound the same if you try to knock it back down to that 0. So what I did here is I started at my 0. And for the next 8 bars of this drop, I took it to the 5. And that's when it really starts hitting in the sub. So let's take a look at our screeches. Let's open it up. First of all, on the channel here, I just dipped down the frequencies. I put bass punch and parallel because I don't know. I don't actually know why I put this on here, but it seems to work really well just to give things some punch and a little bit of grit to come through. And then when I'm working here, how I usually like to modulate this screech is just using this an LFO tool. So here's the screeches soloed. Here we go. Everything is following this thing. Even if you put it with the 808, look. See, you can move with that. I can solo all these different parts and it's gonna get you going. It might not be your cup of tea, but you cannot tell me that don't make you want to move. Let's open it up actually here. Synth 1 main go-to screeches here. So here's the first one. I panned 1, 2, 2 left and 1, 2 right just to get a little bit of that spherical thing that we were talking about earlier. So here's the first one. I believe they're different screeches. So here's the first screech. And here's the second one. This is a more flatter. Like the first one here is a lot, it's sharp. It's sharp and it has a lot of them highs that you want. So it's gonna come through a lot better. The second one is gonna lay right in the middle of it and it's gonna round everything out. So when you put them together, you got very nice, very nice. So that's what those two do. Now if we go into actually, if we look at the second drop here, the second drop is where I did a lot of the screech modulation here. So listen to the screech here on the second drop. So with that, we were talking about with the LFO tool, you know, I let it ride. I go, and then I just stick the LFO tool on there, and it just like, you know, can change that up. And with the LFO tool that I'm using from Ableton, you can, you know, change the rate and you can change the offset. The offset is one of the most important tools because on the offset, you can change how is basically, I call it the swing knob, because you can change when the LFO tool activates and it will really change the way that everything kind of moves. So now Serum here, this is the thing, here we go. Used it in swings, used it Love this sound, absolutely awesome. There's some song that Hero Bus made a couple years ago, and it had some sound. I didn't get it exactly on the dot, but you know, it sounds like this. Oh, if I solo, it sounds like this. It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like this. You put that with your screeches, you know, you're gonna get this. Now that metal, it hits in the center, you know. The placing of everything in a Lit Lord's track is very meticulous, you know. This metal is hitting in the center while these screeches are banging out the sides. You can kind of hear it. Look. Even if you go and put it on, you know, in the studio version of it and hear it in your headphones on your speakers, you're gonna hear this. If you have, you know, you're gonna hear how it's panned to the side. This is hitting in the middle. The 808 hitting in the middle with the grit of it hitting on the sides with the screeches. Let's take a look at our melody. So I'm just gonna go through every single thing here, just let you hear it, and then play it all together so you can see how different things come together. And you can look at the screen recording here, and you can see how everything is placed out, because I don't really know how to explain it. You can see how everything is placed out. Yeah, so here we go. Ethnics. Now, with the other one. Next, you got your strings. Now, if you play that with this. See, everything is really bouncy. This is playing off of this. This comes and hits this, and this hits that, and this hits that, and it all comes together to make, you know, one cohesive whole. Like. Now, when you add this in, I have an actual string here, which is I played out on the Rolly. It just goes here. The melody has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 parts that make this melody into the thing that you hear in the final product. So the melody here has a top layer, and the way that this is in the screen recording is from highest frequency or highest thing that you hear to the lowest thing that you hear. So that's how I sort of did this. So first of all, the highest thing we hear is this. It's something that you can hear and you can let you follow it, but it also adds slithery sort of movement to your melody. Now the second thing is this. This is your body. This is the main body of the melody here. You see, it's more straight. It's like, it doesn't move like this. Like this. Look at the movement. It kind of goes like up and it goes down. You know what I'm saying? So when you play those together, it gives you a really cohesive whole like this. So now, what is this? Okay, this plays on the sides, and this is just chords of the same melody. So I think it's up 12 minus 12 here if we actually zoom into it and look at it. Yeah, so it's just doing that, chords, and it plays like this. So now together you have this. Yep, now this is just a tremor lead. It just does that. It's just, I don't even know. That really doesn't even need to be there. But whatever, that's perfect. Now, if we take a look at this, this is one of the important part. This is what's gonna help move your melody along and transition it as it goes between all the different notes. So this is the bass. Listen. So this can make or break the melody, because this, you see, in the middle of that whole melody part right there of that bass, the bass syncopation, you were feeling uplifted. I know you felt it. You felt it. You were feeling uplifted. Look. okay. Right here. You know, you were like, oh my God, like something's happening. I'm feeling, I'm uplifted. But now when you play it. So yeah, that's the melody, and that's Shinigami.
Shinigami.